Hey folks, this is Bad Bread Berkwitt, and forget about a dog, Bella. Throw him a forget about it, Bella. Forget about it. She wanted to be in the act, folks. You're probably going to hear her while I'm doing this post-fight wrap-up. But Bella, I appreciate it. I know you're union. Thank you for the kisses and the treat. Your union rep said I got to give you this treat. All right? So I'm going to put you down now. All right? She's going to go over there, and she's going to take that hat off real quick after she eats her treat. All right, folks. This is a post-fight wrap-up from XFN, which is Extreme Fight Night 28 that took place last night at the River Spirit Casino in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Fantastic night of fights. And this is the post-fight recap. Results are as follows. And again, you'll hear in the background with her chain making a lot of noise. She's back there now giving Debbie kisses. All right. In your opening bout was a 3-round amateur MMA bout that pitted Mike Harris out of Tulsa, Oklahoma against Melvin Mixner out of Fort Smith, Arkansas. Now this fight ended in the first round, 124 via tap out, and your winner was Melvin Mixner. Next up was a 3-round amateur kickboxing match, and that pitted Darrell Willens from Tulsa, Oklahoma against Derek High from Tulsa, Oklahoma as well. This was a good fight. It went 3 rounds, back and forth action, and Derek High, if you recall from the RSR YouTube channel, he fought on a Randy Rouse card in Dewey, Oklahoma back in January. Real long hair the guy has because it was all over the place. And I went to the scorecards, and 2 judges had it 29-28, and the other one had it 30-27 for your winner, Derek High. Now, next up, let's see the order here. Here we go. Was another amateur MMA bout, 3 rounds, that pitted Jay Bain from Tulsa, Oklahoma versus Cole Orndorff from Grove, Oklahoma. Hey, I was in Grove scoring a boxing card back in February. That fight ended at 111 of the first round via tap out. Your winner was Jay Bain. Next up was an amateur kickboxing match, 3 rounds, that pitted Tyler Harrison from Tulsa, Oklahoma versus Justin Clayton from Enid, Oklahoma. That's a new city for me. That went to the scorecards. I scored it 30-26 for the winner, which was Harrison. The judges had it 30-27, 29-27, and 30-26. Next up was an amateur MMA bout, 3 rounds, pitted Michael Billups of Tulsa, Oklahoma, taking on Pedro Arturno from Fort Smith, Arkansas. I'll tell you what, Michael Billups was a guy that we saw fight recently. I can't remember if it was the last card or card before that. This guy can fight. And he won his bout in the first round via tap out at 118. Via tap out, as I said, rear naked choke. He's 2-0 now. A young guy, it says here he was born in 96. Wow, I got ties older than this guy, forget about it. But he's got talent. He's in shape, and he's somebody to look for. He's an amateur now. Be curious how long he fights as an amateur before he eventually turns pro. Next up was an amateur 3-round bout kickboxing. Pitted Joe McCormick from Tulsa, Oklahoma, taking on T.J. Arrington from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, that fight was a knockout. There was a knockdown, I should say, at the end of the second round. And there was a knockdown at the end of the 3rd round. Very good fight. T.J. Arrington was very impressive. He was your winner. And the scores were 29-27, 30-25, and 30-25 again for T.J. Arrington. Next up was, let me get my sheet going here. Okay, so this is the beginning of the pro card. There was 5 bouts. And the first one pitted Codell Ford from Muskogee, Oklahoma, taking on Ken Jackson from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. There was a little confusion on how they were announced. These were actually vacant belts, folks. It was announced that one was the champion, but it was actually they were vacant belts. So, with that said, that fight went to the scorecards, and I have to be honest, I've heard of Codell Ford. It's the first time I've seen him fight. I actually heard he was a very good very good MMA fighter. and this was a kickboxing match. And I'll be honest, I really wasn't that impressed with him tonight. Maybe he had an off night. But I got to tell you, great guy. And I'll go into how this fight ended. Great guy, though. I believe he's a teacher or something like that because he had some young kids coming. He either teaches or he's a coach. But very classy guy. Gave a great speech. Obviously, you know he was the winner. And Cordell went up against Ken Jackson at Oklahoma City. The scorecards were 48-47 and 49-46 twice for Ford. Again, he might have had an off night. It was a boring fight. I got to be honest. It was very boring. You could see where he was an MMA guy because he actually looked like he wanted to do some of that. He was kind of throwing wide with the right hand, which is a no-no. Defense was so-so. But, again, maybe he just needs some work. Maybe had an off night. But, hey, he did what he needed to do, and he won. And he won the belt. Next up was Jamie Jones from Tahlequah, Oklahoma, against Jenny Liu, or Lau, L-I-O-U, from Lewiston, Idaho. Wow, didn't realize that. It was a 5-round pro MMA bout. Well, folks, here was your surprise of the night. This fight ended at 59 seconds of the first round via armbar tap out, and your winner was Jenny Liu. Now, what's that? Jenny Liu, sorry. You gotta be correcting me. Jenny Liu. Now, my train of thought would be this, and I could be wrong on this, and you know, this is why you leave me post on the YouTube channel on the video, or you IM me or email me or whatever, or for you people who know me personally, text me. I think that the strategy was going into this fight that it was probably an easy fight. And I'm going to tell you why. Her record was 3-2. Jamie's 5-2. So on paper, it's not overly matched on paper. But as everybody knows, Jamie Jones lost in her last fight against Sarah Alpar by a decision. Okay? So you would think that they'd put her in a little bit softer, build her back up a little bit, and then maybe the next fight or the next fight after that, really step it up. Now, maybe Dale Cook put her in tough. I don't know. But I don't think so. Judging on the comments that I heard, I think this was supposed to be a win, and everybody was shocked that she didn't win. Now, Jamie has lost 2 times in a row. And in boxing, 2 times and 2 times in a row could possibly end a career. It definitely puts a career under the spotlight. Where does Jamie go from here? I don't know. I'm not an MMA expert by no means. But I will tell you that Jamie's strength is not her stand-up game, it's on the ground. And look, obviously you can tell by the result that this girl beat her at her own game. Maybe Jamie had an off night, I don't know. You know how I feel about anybody that steps into a cage or a boxing ring, they're a warrior in my book. So there's no bums here. That doesn't come out of my vocabulary. But it's a big question now over Jamie. Where does she go next? I'm quite sure Dale, this is his 38th year, did he say? Was it 38 years? 38 years, Dale, and you told me you were only 25. Forget about it. Doing this, he's got this down to a science. So he's a promoter, and I saw the look on his face. He may say no, but I saw you, Dale. And I would be too. I would have been shocked. There was shock on his face. I was sitting not too far from him. So I'd be interested to see where Dale goes next with this. Okay, that was definitely an upset. No one saw that coming. Next up, you had Alfred Freight Train Walker out of Muskogee, Oklahoma. God rest your soul, Merle Haggard, who recently passed away, who sang that great song, Okie from Muskogee. Pitted against Brandon McDougal from Tulsa, Oklahoma. 5 rounds professional kickboxing, again for a vacant title, XFL title. Well, this fight ended, folks, in the 2nd round via a knockout, and it was a knee, correct? It was a knee from Alfred, took him out, dropped him. Brandon couldn't recover after that. The fight was stopped. I scored a 10-9 for Alfred in the 1st round against McDougal, and again 2-19 in the 2nd round. Alfred is your new XFL kickboxing champion in his weight class. All right, next up, wow. This fight here was not for the faint of heart. If you're not into blood and you don't like gory horror movies where they stab somebody and chop them up, Texas Chainsaw Massacre style, this was not the fight for you. But I'll tell you what, it was exciting. And this fight pitted Kanan Grisby out of Owasso, Oklahoma against Matt McKeon of Dallas, Texas. 5 rounds, MMA. Holy mackerel, what a freaking fight this was. Kanan is tough as all outdoors. He was cut over his left eye. I think it was right over here. It wasn't above, it was on the side. And then he was cut in the back of his head. And I saw him walking after the fight. I'll get to the result in a minute. But after the fight, when I was talking, Deb and I were talking to Freight Train, I saw him walk by, and on the back of his neck, I kid you not, I'm not exaggerating, he was still dripping blood on his neck. And Pepe Johnson, props to you, man. You worked the corner and you were the freaking cut, man. I'm surprised they didn't ask you to be the announcer and work another corner at the same time. Pepe did pull double duty tonight. Good job. It's always good seeing you, Pepe. You're one of those real people. I like that. You know I like real people. Now, this fight went to the third round, and it was a TKO at 2:04 of the third round. Your winner, wait for it, Kanan Grisby. Came back. Oh my God, what a freaking fight. I can't tell you enough. Forget about it. Outstanding fight. And I got to tell you, I've never heard of this young man. Let me see if he's a young man. No, he's not a young man. He's going to be 36 years old. I've never heard of this gentleman before, but he's got a fan in me. I'm impressed. And in his post-fight conference, he said what he did, never count him out, but he said his family dealt with cancer and they were champions more than he was, and he just won the belt. That's class. I admire stuff like that. That really moved me. And I'm gonna reach out to this guy and I'm gonna get him on the show because he's a fan favorite. Fantastic, exciting fight. And Matt McKeon, you got nothing to be ashamed of. You guys went at each other like warriors. All right, that brings me to the main event, folks. Hayes the Hooligan Wilson, 5 rounds, pro kickboxing. Now, Hayes was the XFL super heavyweight champion, kickboxing, against my man, Marcus Hurt Your Money Sursa. Oh my God, what a soundbite Marcus is. I had him on the show when he fought a guy and won the XFL MMA belt last year. You know, I think it was actually 2014. And it was a boring fight, but Marcus won in the 5th round in that fight. And he told me in my show, he tried to think that I was going to back down from him, and he tried to correct me. I said, no, it was still a boring fight. But Marcus, as he always does, great soundbite before the fight. Marcus was doing his shtick when they touched gloves. And, you know, Hayes comes over and he does that, stamps his foot down and draws the line. Well, I got to tell you, Marcus did something pretty funny, too. He came over to the line that Hayes laid down and it crossed over. Bella's back there going, what the heck is that noise? And he did like this and he wiped the line away. They went at it. Okay? 5 rounds. Back and forth. Hayes was pretty much dominant, and I turned to Debbie and actually David Sutherland. I said, reminiscent of Larry Holmes, Tex Cobb. Tex Cobb took a beating. But in fairness to Marcus, because I'm fair, Tex Cobb did very little, if anything, against Larry Holmes. In fact, if you remember, if you know boxing, I want to say that was November of '82 in the Astrodome. Quick Tillis, my family, actually fought Greg Page on the undercard in that fight and knocked him down, but then got stopped. Harold Cosell retired from boxing. Tex did nothing against Larry Holmes. It was one-sided. Marcus did land from time to time on Hayes. And I think had Hayes went to the body more, in my opinion, he might have stopped him. But Marcus is tough, I gotta say it, one tough son of a bitch. Because he took shots to the head that would have knocked down anybody less of a man. That went to the scorecards, and I scored it 50-45 for your winner, Hayes Wilson. And the judges had it 50-45 twice, and 50-44 for Hayes, your winner. Okay? Hayes in a post-fight conference, post-fight interview, I should say. Always class, great fans. This guy's class. Hayes, you know how I feel about you, brother. I'm proud of you. I can't root from ringside because that's not professional. But I'm proud of what you won. I was rooting for you. Hayes, I was rooting for you. You did a great job. Marcus, I got nothing against you. You won tough son of a bitch, like I said. And you'll be back. Now, I got to pick fight of the night and fight of the night. That's easy. I already know who it is. Fight of the night, I'm sorry. There were some good fights, but it goes to Kanan Grisby versus Matt McKeon. Fight of the night, blood bank of the night, horror movie, Wes Craven, man. If you were still alive, you'd want to use these guys. Blood everywhere. You know how they use fake blood in movies? Blood was everywhere. In fact, could you zoom in on this there, please? Can you see this? I don't know. Right here, I don't want to touch it, right? You see that? That's from the freaking fight. That's a blood spot. That's DNA. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that and judge and see. I gotta hold it down. Can you see it? That's blood on my bout sheet. Okay. So that's fight of the night. Kanan Grisby versus Matt McKeon. Fantastic. And my fighter of the night goes to Alfred Freight Train Walker, because that was supposed to be a tougher fight. A lot of people I heard said, oh, Brandon McDougall was going to beat him. Now, I don't know this for a fact, but I think somebody said they fought before and Brandon won. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me. I'm not sure if they did or they didn't. But a lot of people thought Brandon was going to win. I heard this talk. Alfred went in there and did it. He's the new XFL kickboxing champion. I saw my man, my little man, forget about it, Jace was there. All right, he looked a little tired because I know his sister is wearing that tushy out. And I saw Alfred's mom, okay? Shout out to Jamie Harris, did a great job. Shout out to Kevin Nix, who always does a great job. Dan Kirby, great job, your commission. Doc Corey Shonaway, you're always in the mix. Compassionate doctor. He always tells me to say, I don't know what that's about. But I guess it's an inside joke. Great job as always. I believe there's a card in June that Dale's putting on at the River Spirit Casino. I'm not sure if that's XFL. It's probably XFL because they usually go XFN, XFL. Could be wrong. Whatever it is, in June, look it up. We'll be there ringside covering it. And as Frank Sinatra sang so eloquently, so long ago at this late hour, I'm sure, Frank, you're watching this show, the best is yet to come. Bad Brad out.